So now that 2022 is here, it's time for me to look back at all the movies that I watched in 2021 and give you my list of my favorite movies. So welcome to my top 10 best movies of 2021. So something that I need to mention, like I mentioned in my last video with the worst movies, is that this is all completely opinion based. You might have a different list than mine. If you do, awesome. Let me read it. Leave it down in the comments, and I would love to leave my little comments on that for sure. Other than that, let's do this. Here are my honorable mentions. Fear Street. Although individually, not all of them hold up. Together, they make a really interesting and exciting horror trilogy. Halloween Kills. Definitely not better than its predecessor, but still packed with intensity and awesome kills. This movie doesn't fail to keep you hooked. Cop Shop. With fun action scenes and a cool story, I couldn't help but be entertained with this film from beginning to end. No Time to Die. As we witness Daniel Craig's final performance as 007, I can't help but to give high praise to this film for its amazing action sequences, captivating story, and overall amazing ending to the franchise. Encanto. Disney rarely misses the mark with their animated films, but this film kept adding to the list. Not only is it beautifully animated, it's filled with memorable music, great characters, and a heartfelt story. Sing 2. The story is really fun and entertaining for the whole family, but where this film shines, it's with the incredible music. This film had me cheering, singing, laughing, and downloading the soundtrack as soon as it ended. Cruella. A late entry to my list because I wasn't planning on watching it, but I'm glad I did. I was very pleasantly surprised by the strong performances, amazing soundtrack, interesting story, and jaw-dropping sets and wardrobe. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This film manages to tell the origin story of a character that most people do not know in a very exciting, energetic, and entertaining way. Candyman. Visually astonishing and a great cast. This film manages to tell an interesting and important story, all while scaring you. Fatherhood. Kevin Hart shines in this film. His performance, as well as the entire cast, was amazing. So those were the honorable mentions, the movies that almost made it to my list, but these next 10, in my opinion, were really, really, really strong. After watching Hamilton, I was expecting a lot out of In the Heights because I saw what Lin-Manuel Miranda could do. So when I watched the film, I can honestly say that he brought his A game because this movie is fantastic. I had heard the songs previously before watching the musical, but this musical film was stupendous. The entertaining music alone and the choreography that you see in the film is so entertaining to watch. It is so visually beautiful. You know, they really worked hard on that choreography and on the music, and you can tell it was wonderful to see. The sets were really cool, very immersive. The performances, not music specifically, but acting, was very strong. There's a specific powerful scene in this movie where I myself connected so much with. It was that scene where the abuela is singing in the train tunnels, kind of symbolizing her going to heaven. I thought that was fantastic. And the story itself is such a wonderful story, a story that many people can connect with, a story that many people can relate with, and I think that's what made the movie so good. Disney hasn't had a lot of luck with its live action stuff, but I can honestly say that Jungle Cruise was so much fun. First of all, I just want to say that Emily Blunt and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson just work together. The relationship that they had in the film, the connection, the energy that they shared on that screen really was good. I love them together in this film. Also, it's just a fun adventure movie that you can watch and just enjoy with the whole family. You know, it has some thrills, it has some cool villains, it got some awesome effects, it got a really awesome adventure, you know? Not only that, Jack Whitehall for me was a big highlight of the movie. I really liked this character. I love what they tried to do with this character. I thought it was really nice. And it just left me with a smile on my face. Really great movie. I think one of the biggest questions that a lot of people have in regards to West Side Story, if it's better than the original, the 1961 version. I can tell you for sure that the 2021 version, at least for me, was far superior than the older version. First of all, I think the cast did a way better job. I loved how the performances, how wonderful they were, both acting-wise and music-wise. They were really fun to watch, entertaining as heck. It's visually stunning. The sets and the choreography that they incorporated into this film was very fun to watch. And I obviously, me as a Puerto Rican, I connected a lot with the attention to Puerto Rican culture that they did. For example, there's a specific scene where you see a group of Puerto Rican men singing one of the national anthems from Puerto Rico. You know, and for me, you know, it made the hairs on my arm just raise. I was so shocked that they brought that into a popular film like that. I was very connected with this film, specifically with obviously the Puerto Rican angle that they gave it. So in my opinion, Steven Spielberg really just keeps proving that he is a genius filmmaker. He is fantastic. He's not only made some of my classic favorite movies, he's made another one of my favorite movies this year, West Side Story. You know that most revivals aren't really great. I mean, look at the 2016 Ghostbusters, The Grudge, Hellboy, Mission Impossible International. I can name a whole bunch more. So obviously I was a little bit worried when I heard that they were making Ghostbusters Afterlife, you know, another reboot. I thought it was simply going to be cameos and references for the entire film with no interesting plot. Although it does have callbacks and cameos and all that good stuff, the film was not bad at all. The characters were extremely likable. The story and the pace of the film is so much fun to watch and entertaining as all heck. Seeing a new generation take over the franchise with so much energy and charisma really gave life to the film and made me excited for any future films with these characters in it. If they make Afterlife Part 2 or whatever they call it, I'm gonna buy a ticket and be there and watch it because I loved Ghostbusters Afterlife. I feel that a lot of people aren't going to agree with me with this one, but I really loved The Forever Purge. You know, I'm a big fan of the franchise, but this film for me really was exciting because it brought in a new perspective that I haven't seen before, which was seeing the immigrants and the minorities and Latinos and Latinas and Latinx dealing with the purge. I thought that was so fascinating to me. You know, as a Latino, I connected a lot with that story. Not only that, I thought the characters were really likable. I enjoyed watching all of the characters, seeing how their stories played out. You know, when something happened to one of the characters, I felt for it. I was like, no, why, no? I got upset. The action is, as always, is super intense and super exciting. And, you know, as a fan of the franchise, I just really appreciated this movie for what it is and what it did. Zack Snyder's Justice League is everything I could ever want in a DC movie. I'm glad that DC listened to the fans, you know, because this movie is just 4 hours of pure greatness. Obviously, comparing it to the 2017, this one is by far superior. Zack Snyder knew what he wanted to do, and he knew where he wanted to take these characters, and most of all, I think he knew what the fans wanted. This is a wonderful portrayal of these characters that we're not really accustomed to, and I thought that was so cool. The characters were very well developed, and I feel that every single one of the heroes was important to the overall story, you know, which I didn't exactly get that feeling in the 2017 version. The action scenes were super awesome. The villain was so much better looking, more intimidating, scarier, if you will. His purpose of why he was on Earth doing his mission made more sense. Everything about this film was awesome. You know, I'm just upset that we're probably not going to see any more of it. That's my only thing that I don't like. But this film was amazing in every sense of the word. By far, the best animated film of the year. Hilarious doesn't even begin to describe this movie, man. No movie in this list made me laugh as much as The Mitchells versus the Machines did. A wonderful story about the importance of connecting with family and the problems that come with the overuse of technology over the real world. I thought that was fascinating, and they tell such an important story in a super fun way. Not a lot of films can do that. Honestly, if this film doesn't get nominated for Best Animated Film of the Year in the Oscars, I will be very disappointed, because this film was truly amazing. You know, this movie for a long time was my number one. Basically until these next three came out. Starting with boy, oh boy, was I so impressed with this movie. The performances alone are truly amazing. You know, the visuals and stylistic choices are really interesting to watch, you know? And not only that, the story, in my opinion, was super captivating. I loved the story. It does take a minute to get good, but when it gets good and when the story truly starts taking a faster pace, it really takes you for a thrill ride full of horror, magic, tragedy, revenge, and more. Truly, truly an awesome movie. I loved it. I fell in love with the Suicide Squad from the first scene. James Gunn really understood who these characters are and what is the true purpose of this team. You know, he utilized everybody in the cast masterfully. I thought it was wonderful to watch. The visuals and the effects are truly mesmerizing. He has some really interesting stylistic choices that make the movie feel unique, you know? And not only that, the performances from the entire cast were amazing. Obviously, specifically Margot Robbie, John Cena, Idris Elba. Obviously, they were awesome. But you know who surprised me? Daniela Melchior. I think it's Melchior. Daniela Melchior. I thought she was wonderful as Ratcatcher too. I really connected with her character. I thought she did a fantastic job. In my opinion, the true heart of the film. This film is fun from beginning to end, and it never really stops being awesome. Well, everyone, we are here. My number one favorite movie of 2021. I think some of you know which one it is. Some of you are like, Christian, get to the point. I get it, don't worry, I'll let you know right now. My favorite film of 2021 is, and forever will be, honestly, no film in this entire list made me cheer, clap, jump out of my seat, and overall yell like a little child as much as Spider-Man No Way Home did. From beginning all the way to the end, this movie had me hooked. I could not take my eyes off the screen for 1 second. And not only that, the story alone is so much fun. But then you add the amazing cast. We already knew Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, and Marisa Tomei were going to be amazing. They're always great. But then you bring in Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx, and Benedict Cumberbatch to reprise their roles. Unbelievable. Not only that, the action scenes in this film are really good and the visual effects are stunning. There are some things in here that I honestly can tell you blew my mind how awesome they looked. Now, here's the thing. I want to be fair for those who haven't seen the movie yet, okay? Obviously, there's spoilers, but I know some people that haven't been able to see it yet, and they have avoided spoilers. Don't know how, but they have. So, if you want to avoid spoilers, please go to this minute mark over here. It'll be on the side. This minute mark over here, so you can finish off the video without getting spoiled for Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay? Here we go. Spoiler time. 3, 2, 1. We're here. Obviously, I could not end this video without talking about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. They were truly amazing in this movie. They were the biggest point of shock in the entire movie. I specifically remember the entire theater just going completely bonkers crazy when they came out on those portals. I thought that was truly great, and the cool thing is that they truly added to the story. You know, it didn't feel like just cameos. They had a very important and crucial part in this story, you know, and the ending of erasing everybody's memory was very interesting to me. You know, it can lead to some interesting stories in the Marvel future. You know, I'm super excited to see what the MCU and Sony do with these characters. So in the end, because of all these reasons and more that I just didn't have time to mention, Spider-Man No Way Home is most definitely my favorite movie of 2021. Thank you so much for watching my list. I've been literally making this video for an entire year because I started writing my reviews and making my list since the first movie that I saw in 2021. So just to be here and to be able to make this video feels really, really nice. So I'm excited for the movies that are coming in 2022. I already started my list again. I already saw one of them, which I'm very excited about. Maybe I'll make a review about it, maybe I won't, I don't know, I'll still think about it. But all that being said, thank you again for watching. Make sure to subscribe and to like and to ring that notification bell. That way you get notified every single time I post a video. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Heck, I hope you have a wonderful year. Okay? Peace.